What's up, everyone? It's the Interview Queen Alicia Toot here, and be sure to watch True Heel Heat.
Well, what do we got over here? Bada boom, Real's one in the room. How you doing? You are listening. Big boobs, huh? And you are listening to True Real Heat. How you doing?
Hello everyone, it's the hardcore legend Mick Foley wishing a nice day to everyone there, right there at True Heel Heat. Yeah!
Hello, it is me, your True Heel Phenom, SP3, and we are live on the True Heel Heat YouTube and Facebook for our TNA Bound for Glory 2025 preview, breaking down this Sunday show from Lowell, Massa, close to Boston, as Santino Morella has put it. And of course, to do that, we are joined by our favorite person to talk TNA with, right next to Cresta Star, but our favorite person from Canada to talk to about TNA. He is the co-host of the TNA Impact post show over on Fightful, and he is the co-host of In the Weeds on Fightful Overbooked every weekday. He is the one and only Joel Pearl. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. George Iceman wasn't available. The other good Canadian who talks TNA, couldn't get him.
You easily beat out George Iceman. Like,
I ran into him on the street one time.
Come on, what are we talking about here? How are you feeling, sir?
Oh, okay, it's been a crazy day. Those who are watching live probably and maybe watched In the Weeds know that I wasn't actually on this morning's show. I was preempted by something else, so SP3 jumped in and everything's done. Everything's good, so I can't complain, and I appreciate you doing the amazing work that you do on ITW when I can't do it myself. So thank you. But all's good. How are you doing?
You missed the greatest episode of ITW. We figured that out by the end of it. We came up with the greatest storyline in ITW history, and we came up with pay-per-view names for Ring of Hallucination. So we got a lot done. I literally said on the show, I was like, we got to tell Joel to take some more days off.
I mean, y'all ask and I'll do it, but people, if they're not getting angry about, your takes, they're getting angry about Jeremy spoiling, shows that have already aired or shows that already have spoilers out or something. Everyone just needs to complain these days. I don't want to complain, but I'm about to, because it's time to talk about Bound for Glory.
Well, look at that, though. Like, we got so busy talking about the great Black family storyline
Pause.
that we totally forgot to spoil Collision. So people watched the show thinking that we're gonna spoil. They only got the minor spoiler yesterday, but they didn't get the full on spoiler that would have been today because we got too busy booking that storyline.
Look at y'all working hard not to spoil things that are already spoiled out there.
Green family, red family, good stuff. Check out In the Weeds from earlier today. But
Wait, hold on. Did y'all make a Green family, like a Chelsea Green family?
Yeah. Chelsea Green is the leader of the Green family.
Oh God!
And amazing Red and Sexy Red are the Red family. There is the Brown family of Mountie and D'Lo.
Yep.
Yeah. So
okay,
that's how we came up with the signature pay-per-view for Ring of Hallucinations, the real big one, Rainbow Gang Wars.
Oh, that's gonna get some money from all the wrong places when they figure out what you're actually doing. But you know what? I commend it. If nothing else, wrestling is about clickbait. So really, you just did the job you're supposed to do.
But to be fair, Podjar Finisher, you deserve credit. We'll give you credit for Orange Family. Orange Cassidy signs with where I don't know where but we're booking this in WWE because Malachi, Aleister Black, and Zelina Vega are the Black family.
So. Yeah, there's nowhere else you can put Orange Cassidy. Just stands alone.
Yeah. No, it's him and Taz.
And the only reason Taz is there is because he gets upset when someone uses Orange. So he's like, no, I'm in here too. Brother, I'm in this group. This is my group.
He's like, you can't wear orange without me. Jones over here.
Me Jones.
But yeah, 7 minutes in. Remember, guys, we appreciate y'all for joining us live. Appreciate y'all for watching us on demand. Remember to show your appreciation back the simplest way possible. You can drop the thumbs up on the video. That helps out the YouTube algorithms so much. You can also share this video with all your wrestling fans, friends, and family on all your favorite social media platforms. If you're new to the True Heel Heat YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button. Hit the bell to stay notified for all the great content here. And of course, you can sound off in the comments section if you're watching us on demand. If you're with us live, sound off in the live chat. We love to interact with all of you and hear what you think. What's your predictions for this Sunday's TNA Bound for Glory? But of course, if you're feeling generous, you want to give back to what we do here, you want to show your support to the True Heel Heat YouTube channel in the best way possible, you can do so with a super chat donation. Any dollar amount matters. It goes back to the contributors that you see on screen with us here. And we always appreciate the support. We got one of our members and moderators in the channel, Volop, who says ITW bonus episode. Yes, you just in case you were missing a little bit of Joel on your Friday, you came here for the follow-up. This is like ITW After Dark in the afternoon.
Oh, we used to do those. It was man, those were questionable content days. Our Twitch streaming days were just a mess. We had some crazy conversations. You're never going to find them. I'm not going to talk about them. They existed. That's it.
That's the best thing about Twitch is that after like a couple of months, it deletes itself. It's gone from the ether. It's already out there.
Did I maybe have copies of the streams through OBS that I could probably use once upon a time? Maybe. I'd have to go through old hard drives. I don't want to do that right now. So they just exist. And if I ever get catty, I'll post them somewhere. Maybe.
So it's like you Thanos snapped it into the ether. We got Zach who says it is National Angel Food Cake Day. SP3 and Joel. Thank you, Zach, for that information. I will try to see if I can get some angel food.
Yeah, it's national for you. It's not national for me. I'm Canadian, so.
Say you gotta remember, Zach. Sometimes we go international on the show. We got Volop who says we wouldn't have Rainbow Gang Wars if Joel was there. This is true.
That's true. Listen, full respect. Whenever Jeremy and SP3 are hosting and I'm not there, I go back and I listen now more than ever because I gotta clip everything. It's just everything's different with them. Just like it's different when SP3 and I do stuff, just like it's different when Jeremy and I do stuff. The conversations are all routed differently and our brains are not the same. You put the three of us in a room, it explodes. We're not allowed to stay.
I mean, I think I was on a roll this week because yesterday I couldn't stop laughing at the Dante Chen pose. The when he just the build up, and then he does the pause. I was losing it because I had just watched Evolve right before we did ITW, and I just like that was my main takeaway from Evolve was Dante Chen with that annoying ass pose he does. So
Hey, he's the man.
good week on ITW.
Yes.
T, we got Power Driver Finisher who lets us know that the THH Orange is Team Taz. There you go.
It's true.
Yeah.
Although if you ask Eric Arndt, former Real One, he'll tell you that it's what was it? True Real Heat. If you watch the intro video, yes.
He totally thought that was the real name.
Good
It
for
wasn't
him.
him just trying to do his own gimmick. No, he really thought that was it. Maggie in the chat. Good to see you, Maggie. Says, my boys.
Hello.
And she also asks, where's our puppets?
We got to do a review of some sorts that is financially conducive to Sean's lack of money for puppets.
There you go.
I mean, you could probably walk over to where those puppets were made and just ask them to do one pro bono. Might
Yeah,
be okay.
Luis telling us, can't you walk over to the puppet maker in Bulgaria?
That's amazing.
She says, yeah, but I still need money. Laugh my ass off. Yeah, points were made. Points were made. But yes, we got this Sunday, TNA Bound for Glory. I've been joking and calling TNA WWE Total Nonstop Action. I feel like I'm just getting ahead of the curve. But what have been your feelings on the WWE NXT partnership and how heavy it has been heading into Bound for Glory? And as usual, as we always do on the pay-per-view previews, what is your anticipation level for Bound for Glory from 0 to 10?
My anticipation, I'm about a 5. I'm going to give them halfway. It's a pay-per-view. It's not a special, so you know they're going to do something. I'm not there. I'm not there because of what happened at Slammiversary, because of how creative has gone for the last 3 months. It's just been on a decline that could have been fixed in certain ways. And people I've talked to in TNA have their reasons and their explanations as to why things aren't as strong as they could be. And my pushback was always, if you're taping shows, that's one thing. If you're not taking advantage of your experiences at NXT, then putting them on the tape show, splicing them in, then what are you doing? What kind of partnership is this? The partnership between NXT and TNA started off a lot stronger than it has become, in my opinion. When it started off, it was very much, we have a lot of NXT talent who are not working anywhere else right now, and they can use some reps. This is the closest thing to a WWE production that we have. It's a safe space. People who are well-trained and alumni of our business are training and producing these talent, gets them on TV, and that's where people like Carly Bright and Tatum Paxley and honestly, a lot of the women who were up and coming in NXT were given an extra shot. That was working. And then for WWE, listen, we know who the bigger company is. They were getting free eyes on Joe Hendry, on Mike Santana, on Jordan Grace, who has since moved over officially to WWE. That's what this was. It was a bit of a feeder system. And those who are complaining, I get it. TNA needed to refill their feeder system while taking in what they could from NXT, building those talent up, and knowing full well they're not the big shark in the pond. It's now become, oh, we're just going to walk all over you and it's going to make you look worse. And yeah, you'll win a match once in a while. And the Hardys will win the first NXT branded WWE championships through the TNA portal, so to speak. And it'll be all right, right? You guys will like that. And personally, I think it's lazy. And there's been a lot of laziness. So that's why my Bound for Glory feelings are at a 5.
Yeah, I can't say you're wrong at all. I feel like the heaviness of the WWE NXT TNA partnership has brought me down, where otherwise I think just looking at the card on paper, I'd probably be ranging like 6.5. I'm like down to like a 5 because of how TNA has been treated over the last couple of weeks on WWE television. And it's overall, you mentioned like the booking has been noticeably like worse over the last couple of months. But I think that really like I've been like in my memories museum, the booking has been bad ever since Scott left. Like, it's just like nothing makes sense. Nothing happens at the right time. And I feel like that was a staple that led up to TNA rebanding to back to the TNA name. It was everything made sense. Like, regardless of how much you liked it or loved it or hated it, everything made sense in the last couple of years. Like 2023, the story was Josh Alexander as the longest reigning champion. And literally going into the year, we all knew Steve Macklin was going to be the guy who dethroned him. And he got injured. Steve would eventually win the title. But even when they did surprise bookings, like Alex Shelley's title run, it was great. It was good. It was a good thing to do. It felt like a reward to someone who's been there for a while. And then 2022, you had, Josh as TNA world champion. The Knockouts division was killing it with Mickie James and Deonna Purrazzo, and Jordan Grace was getting rebuilt up. Then they brought in Trinity in 2023. 2021 was the whole even the AEW partnership, despite them literally crapping on them on their television. I feel like that was a little bit like better in regards to how they use AEW talent on TNA. I felt like they gave them, the Kenny Omega, they gave them a private party. They gave them some guys that weren't really working. They gave them one of their top stars. They were able to build around that. It logically should have led to Josh Alexander winning the title from Kenny Omega, but they couldn't make that work. But they were able to bring in someone who has a legacy in TNA in Christian Cage, and he was able to drop it to that. And they did the swerve with Moose. Everything worked, and it led into one of their best feuds of 2022. So, like, the last couple of years, especially in the last, like, this decade of the 2020s, everything made sense through pandemics, through everything. Everything made sense. Nothing makes sense. Nothing's at the right time. The whole Joe Hendry title chase and title win was totally mistimed. Jordan Grace as TNA World Champion was great for her, but she had already, by putting her in the Royal Rumble, you already gave her up to WWE. And you literally let her have the title for the rest of the year, where it would eventually drop to Masha. But the follow-up Masha reign didn't amount to really anything and didn't really solidify her at all. So it's just really bad.
They've had opportunities to pull up, and unfortunately they've kind of just nosedived. And that's been the frustrating part, is everything you just talked about for the last few years have been what has made Impact into TNA logical and fun and smart in terms of wrestling booking. It's never perfect, but that's episodic weekly TV. But what they were doing were coherent storylines, and now what we're doing at this point is like, shoot, we have this event, so we got to do this, but it's all in service of the pay-per-view. Alex Shelley, going back to him and Chris Sabin won their respective titles at a special and against all odds. It was just like, oh, this happened, no one expected it. We haven't had a shock like that in a while. It's always the Knockouts titles, the Knockouts tag team titles are going to change here. I'm not telling people that it should be save it for the pay-per-views because it's the most money. You got to have those surprises, and not just those surprises. You have to make sense of them. And putting your title on someone like Trick Williams or Kalani Jordan, it doesn't really amount to much in the grand scheme of selling TNA. Because now we're in a totally different conversation as they plan for a new media rights deal. They're currently doing it on the piggyback of NXT and the CW and saying, look at all the great stuff we're doing with our partners. And if I'm an executive in that room, I'm saying, okay, but what are you doing Thursdays between 8 to 10 p.m. on Access when you air live on your show? Or not air live, but when you air your show? What's that looking like? What's that content? What are those numbers? What's that interest? And you'll see a stark difference. You can't backdoor your way into a TV deal. This isn't a pilot for an episode of a show from two characters that exist on NXT. This is a wrestling product that has been around for 25 years, almost 25. And they have the opportunity to do much more. 2003, 2002.
Yeah, 23.
Yeah, so they've been around for long enough to know that they don't need a backdoor. They need cohesive storylines and good support from their fan base. And I think they've lost a lot of that. You have the hardcores who are loud, that's fine, but I think a lot of people have soured over the last 3 months, 6 months on their storytelling or lack thereof because of the favors they've been doing seemingly to WWE and NXT.
Yeah. And it's really, to me, it's because it feels like WWE is on purpose kind of making the same mistakes they made with WWE versus WCW. And literally, they tried to get them a TV deal too. They tried to get WCW a TV deal and did that Buff Bagwell versus Booker T matchup and just dropped it. This seems like a very long process to them dropping, WWE dropping if they care if TNA gets a TV deal.
It's again, if this is a longer conversation, but if this is all in service of going against AEW on Wednesdays, I mean, I had a conversation with somebody at TNA a couple days ago, and it was from a coverage standpoint, all of the wrestling sites that you that you allege to not like because you call them dirt sheets and you make fun of what they do, but we are the purveyors of the interest in wrestling and TNA, they're going to stop covering the show because, especially a post show, I can tell you on Fightful, you think Sean Ross Sapp, who does the AEW Dynamite post show and gets the numbers, whether Dynamite is good or bad,
yeah,
you think Sean's going to make the TNA post show the Wednesday night post show? No, I'm going to be either relegated to a paywall or my show's going to be canceled. And part of me is okay with that, but the other part of me who like wants to see TNA flourish and do well is like, I can't do anything if you're going to basically put yourselves in this position. It just screws everything up.
Yeah, like the last couple, that's why I brought up like the whole like main stories that had been going on in TNA prior to Scott being departed, because there was a feeling like TNA was a third considerable and reasonable option for talent out there. And now it's like slowly but surely, it doesn't feel like that at all.
It's not where it could be. And I don't know what to expect going into 2026. As far as I see from the taping schedules, I expect the year to end how last year's have ended. And I hope that they pick up strong in the next year. But there's a show this Sunday. There are things to look forward to. And instead of the doom and gloom, there are things that we might be excited for.
Exactly. So let us know in the comments. Let us know in the live chat what you're looking forward to for TNA Bound for Glory before it goes live on TNA Plus as well as pay-per-view. We have the countdown to Bound for Glory, which will feature a TNA Knockouts World Tag Team Championship matchup as the Inspiration, Cassie Lee and Jessie McKay, will face the Elegance brand, Heather and M by Elegance, with the Personal Concierge in their corner. The Personal Concierge got them their rematch following the Inspiration defeating the Elegance brand 2 weeks ago on Impact to win the TNA Knockouts World Tag Team Championships, their second reign with the titles. It's already been reported this week that the Inspiration's contracts will be expiring soon by Fightful Select. So they'll be expiring following Bound for Glory. So very interesting. I mean, I think this matchup will be an indication of the follow-up. It said in the report that TNA would like to, people within TNA believe that they will re-sign or come up to a new deal. I think we'll know if they lose this matchup, maybe that didn't work out. But I think that the Inspiration wins.
I do too. It's their first defense of the Knockouts tag team title since winning them on Impact the week before. There's also that part of me that just wants to see the Elegance brand stand on their own, with Ash by Elegance now being medically disqualified from wrestling. However they're going to call it. She's out. She's not going to be part of TNA. She's not going to be on the show for a while. I would love to see M and Heather get that opportunity, but maybe there's more of their story without the Knockouts tag titles. Maybe there's a split. Maybe not a split. Maybe there's just something else that you can do while the Inspiration carry those Knockouts tag titles into the next story, whatever that is. I think the Inspiration are going to win. I can see them re-signing with TNA. They, by all accounts, like it there. They are liked there. They have the freedom to do just about anything when they're there compared to other companies that might not allow them to do certain things that they like to do. So as a result, I could see them retaining, sticking around for a little while too.
And their Harley Cameron theme song is much better than their WWE theme song.
Oh, so much better. I was so annoyed on Tuesday. People are like, oh, it's because it's Harley Cameron. It's like, bro, come on. You've used other themes. Why do you got to change this one? Like, come on. Because of the nostalgia? Come on. I
was like, there's no nostalgia here. Sorry.
Nobody won that night. Literally. It was a tie.
Well, there you have it. But yeah, I'm going with the Inspiration as well. And then the main card, Joel, it will be the Call Your Shot Gauntlet, the traditional gauntlet match that has become a custom, a tradition for Bound for Glory each and every year. 20 competitors compete in a Royal Rumble style showdown. When it comes down to the last two competitors, it becomes a singles match. You must win by pinfall or submission, and the final competitor left standing will win a trophy that they can call their shot on any championship in TNA at any point over the next year. The only things we know for sure as far as placement is that Lei Ying Lee will be the first competitor in this matchup, while Mance Warner has got the coveted number 20 spot. We know Nick and Ryan Nemeth will be a part of it, Matt Cardona. We know the Rascals want to be a part of it, Mara Sade, and much, much more. Should be a very fun one. Joel Pearl, who do you think walks out with the Call Your Shot trophy coming up this Sunday?
Hometown. No, I'm just kidding. I have no idea. So last night on our post show, we mentioned that BDE Brandon is trying to call his shot to be in there. He's officially joined. There are 6 spots left from all the announced names. 3 of them, I assume, are Rascals. Here's one that I'm going to drop on you that maybe we didn't think about last night. Do you remember who made their Impact re-debut in 2022 in the Call Your Shot Gauntlet?
Joe Hendry.
Joe Hendry.
Yeah.
I don't know if Joe's going to win because by all accounts, this is it for him.
Yeah.
This is the swan song. But at the same time, if you want to really continue the weirdness that is the TNA NXT program, he wins Call Your Shot. He wins the TNA title at the end of the night, and he's like, and I'm going to NXT with it. And everyone's like, oh, son of a bitch.
We thought we were getting it back. Damn it. But that would be hilarious. But I think that they probably will do that. He will be a part of the matchup. I don't know about winning it, but I think that is something that probably Joe would think is cool. Like a full circle moment. His first match in TNA or back in TNA was the Call Your Shot Gauntlet, and then his last match in TNA is the Call Your Shot Gauntlet.
Yeah, it could easily be that. I mentioned Eric Young. If he's doing this cleanse thing and he's beating a lot of former champions on the way out, or maybe his cleanse involves winning the world championship, I would have Eric Young potentially win it. I know age is kind of a thing that people talk about, but Eric Young is synonymous with TNA since the beginning of time in TNA. So him winning is more of a nod to his passion and his time with the company than it is a slight of his age. And Jake Something is the only other person that I would put in there because Jake Something is primed for whatever's next, and he would be the guy to do it.
Okay, so I got the angle here. You want to hear it? You
Absolutely,
ready?
yeah.
All right, Eric Young delivers a power driver to Hometown Man before he gets to the ring and takes his spot in the matchup. Later on, number 19, it's the music of Hometown Man again. He's healthy enough to come out, but wait, he looks much different. Yes, TNA steals the El Grande Americano gimmick, and they give the Hometown Man gimmick to Sami Callihan.
Oh yes, I've been clamoring for this. When Sami lost, I was like, get ready for El Death Machine Man on the next episode.
He's just Hometown Man. They're like, Hometown Man's healthy. Wait, he looks different. And then stunners and pulling out barbed wire.
The problem is, though, both Eric Young and Hometown Man have been announced for the match. So Eric Young is just coming in early instead of waiting for his spot.
Yeah.
That's not beneficial for Eric Young. I guess he's a maniac, so maybe it makes sense. But like, there are so many holes.
Or you have the Nemesis. You have the Nemesis.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
You see, Lance Storm would be okay with the latter. But if you told him, why is Eric Young coming in before his scheduled time? Why is he going in early? That sounds stupid. That's what Lance Storm will be all over you for that. Where's your psychology?
Well, no, Eric Young got eliminated by Joe Hendry and then comes back at number 19. There you go.
Okay, that works. Now we're going somewhere with this. Yeah. El Death Machine Man.
El Death Machine Man. He's a hometown man. But in all seriousness, they're
really pushing Mara Sade.
Yeah, they are pushing Mara Sade. The Rascals have gotten a lot of TV time heading into this matchup. AJ Francis is always an option.
AJ's gonna do a thing with Brandon, and Brandon's gonna eliminate him from the match. That's just that. They've been jaw jacking. They've done stuff in the ring. They like working with each other. You know what I would do? I'd have the Rascals win, and then we're back on with the thing I've been saying since the beginning. The Rascals win. They turn heel in the process. Let them turn. Let them be bad guys again. The Rascals take out the winners of the one last table, and they walk out with either the TNA, NXT, both tag team titles. Let them do that. I would love to see that. But that's the only other way I would do it.
And then the Dudleys and Hardys can say, we put over the young team at the end.
Exactly. So it was especially, oh my God, could you imagine?
You know what? I agree. I'm going with Myron Reed to be the winner.
The guy without the contract and the contract dispute conversation that they had. I love it.
He wins the Call Your Shot gauntlet. Not only is he going to sign a contract for a title shot, he signs his contract on top of the briefcase after for TNA.
Signs on the back of Bully Ray. Get out of my business.
Perfect for me. That sounds like an A+ booking decision right there. But yeah, that's the Call Your Shot gauntlet. I'm going with Myron Reed. You're going with a member of the Rascals. Then we got for the TNA International Championship, it's going to be Frankie Kazarian defending against the first ever and former champion, Steve Macklin. Kazarian defeated Macklin back at Victory Road to become the new and second ever international champion. Kazarian had been chasing the gold for weeks from Macklin. Macklin was a fighting champion as the inaugural title holder, defending against whoever stepped up to him, whether it be Mance Warner or Jake something. Frankie Kazarian used every trick in the book, but he was able to pick up the win and earn the one of the only titles he hasn't won in TNA, only because this just was invented. But these two men haven't been able to get the opportunity to tell much of a story at all. It's kind of weird how much like they just kind of just got added on social media and never really was said or referenced to on television between what Kazarian said in the opening of last week's show or anything on last night's show.
God forbid Tuesday, after they win Team TNA's Men's Survivor Series match, would they do a digital backstage exclusive or something they air on last night's TNA Impact, where Kazarian's like, I'm a winner. Steve Macklin's a big loser. I've had a great week. I ran Steve Macklin out of the business. He had to call Santino Marella to get his title shot back. I'm going to beat his ass at Bound For Glory. The story writes itself. They've been doing this. These two guys know how to talk their way into a match and out of a story. And the fact that it's just, we're putting it on the pay-per-view is absolutely disturbing to me. I hate it, especially because Macklin is a very good wrestler. He is a very, very competent storyteller. And for them to not have him at the tapings to do the go-home show for Bound For Glory, what you call your biggest show of the year? Whose idea was this?
That's a weird decision.
It's a bad one. It was a terrible decision. Hey, go do media instead of showing up for work. Ugh.
I would love to go with Macklin here because I feel like Macklin is one of the guys that's like a flag bearer for TNA, but I'm going to have to go with Kazarian.
Kazarian's going to win because Judas Macias is going to cost Macklin the match. They'll do a 3-way at Worlds Collide San Diego in November when they announce that show.
You think they're going to let TNA be on the show?
I think Judas Macias is going to be the door through which that championship makes one appearance. They have it. Okay. They've got guys to do it. If they don't do it for a Worlds Collide show, then they'll just do it for one of their Mexico AAA shows.
Okay.
But I feel like it'll be around. I'm saying November because that's the next month, and also you have Survivor Series. I assume there's a Worlds Collide coming for November because they're in San Diego. Why wouldn't you run in San Diego a lucha show where you can make some good money and you can put that match on the card? I don't think it's a no contest, as someone in the chat's mentioned. I think it's just going to be Judas Macias costs Macklin, Kazarian wins. Macklin is upset at Macias. Kazarian got, he got the fruits of Judas Macias's labor, so they'll do a triple threat.
That would make sense. This one is a grudge match, but I would say it's arguably one of the better built matches on the show, as it's going to be Tessa Blanchard going one-on-one with backstage interviewer, announcer, Gia Miller. Gia Miller was assaulted by Tessa Blanchard following her loss to Indy Hartwell at TNA Slammiversary this past summer. Gia was out for weeks while Tessa was suspended. Eventually, Tessa was released from her suspension, and it did not stop with the disrespect and the abuse that Tessa Blanchard delivered to Gia Miller, not only physically, but also mentally and verbally, bringing up their past together, how they met each other at the George South training school, and that Tessa was so much better than Gia that she ran her out of it, and that Gia wasn't able to commit to professional wrestling and in-ring work, while Gia says that she just didn't find her path there, so she had to leave there because people like Tessa was trying to keep her down, but she was able to get the training that she needed, and she has become a wrestler, and she's ready to step into the ring in TNA and go one-on-one with Tessa Blanchard. They've done a really good job of laying this out. It was one of the big things to come out that you would have to kind of look forward to out of the last pay-per-view, out of Slammiversary, and I thought they did a good job of leading up to this showdown here. So, Joel, what have you thought about the build-up, and who do you think wins on Sunday?
Well, we're not allowed to say nice things about Tessa, but
that is why I am referencing the feud and the booking of the feud.
Yes, and I think the booking has been really well done. I think that the storytelling has been very strong. I like that Gia Miller is going to step in and try to wrestle a woman who has been in kayfabe a world champion, has been a knockouts champion, has been around the world. I also like that Gia Miller takes no guff from this woman and is ready to throw down regardless. You might find out that Gia Miller is just a crazy woman, and if she wins, I hope she wins by being crazy, and the week after on Impact, everyone's like, two steps back from this woman because I'm scared of you. Everyone should be a little bit, because that's what do you do after what happens afterwards if Gia wins, and she wins by something absolutely bonkers? Maybe she dismantles Tessa, maybe she gets a roll up, I don't know, but however she wins, if she does it in a way that's definitive, everyone on that roster needs to take a second look at Gia whenever they're on camera with her and be like, I'm not messing with this woman, she could take me out like that.
Like a heel is like disrespectful to her, and then comes back into the frame. You know what? I'm sorry. Because she made the same look she makes against Tessa in this match, and he's like, you know what? On second thought,
it's on me. It's on me. Yeah. I can see. I think Gia should win. Again, it's the culmination of a bully story. You can't let the bully win. That would be just terrible, especially when the bully is a little too close to home from the storytelling perspective and the reality perspective. So I think Gia winning is the right call. But again, I will ask, what happens afterwards?
I think if Gia wins, it's a sign that TNA is finishing up with Tessa Blanchard to me. There's nothing you can do to come back from losing to a backstage interviewer. Like that's the setup for this matchup. This is the equivalent to maybe a more lack of a better term, racist Gunther losing to Pat McAfee. That is what this is the equivalent of what Gia Miller beating Tessa Blanchard would be like. So I can't go for Tessa, damn it. So I'm gonna go for Gia. So I think this is it for Tessa because she's already returned to CMLL, and like you told me, that was part of the kind of the agreements that were made between Tessa and TNA when she first went back, that she would stop going to CMLL.
She wanted to go, and that was the whole thing. And TNA was like, well, we don't have a working agreement with CMLL. In fact, we have a working agreement with their competition, with TNA. But now that everything has changed, that's what's funny, is that this landscape has changed so immensely. But also, if you're in a partnership with WWE, who is now has ownership in TNA, you can't really go to CMLL, who have a fantastic relationship with AEW, who are technically your competition because of who you're aligned with. So yes, it is telling that Tessa Blanchard appeared on CMLL on the Informa show a couple of weeks ago now, and she'll be on a card on Friday, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, she's going to be on I think this Friday is an all-woman show, and then next Friday is the big show that's going to be free on YouTube.
That's Paul White. He's over in Ring of Honor sometimes. Well, anyway.
Another member of the White family.
That's true. Wow, we're really building up this card.
So we gotta write this down because we got some faction warfare going on. It's gonna help our storytelling of Ring of Hallucination.
It's gonna go real far. Yeah, Tessa. If this is the end of Tessa Blanchard, I get it. This will be her third pay-per-view loss in a row. That's telling, and I think the Tessa experiment would have been over at that point because, again, the person who brought her in, who shoehorned her back in, doesn't work for the company anymore, and so why would you keep trying to do something that fans are not a big fan of to begin with? Let it go.
Yeah,
she tried to walk across that burnt bridge and the bridge broke. It's time to finish up.
The other non-title match left on this card on Sunday will be Hardcore War. It's going to be, I guess, 5-on-5 here, as it's going to be Order 4. Mustafa Ali, John Schuyler, Jason Hodge, the Agent Zero, and Tasha Steelz versus the Systems, Moose, Brian Myers, JDC, Eddie, and Alicia Edwards. This can be wild. This will be hardcore for sure. There's no rules. Weapons are allowed. No disqualification. No count out. Only rule is it's basically War Games rules. It's going to start off with 2 competitors. The system basically lost the advantage matchup when Mustafa Ali defeated Moose back at Victory Road. So Order 4 will have the numbers advantage, and they'll have the first participant that gets into the matchup after the first 2 start. These two factions have been feuding basically since the summer. Order 4 had been going through their own dissension within their ranks before solidifying each other, and Tasha Steelz revealing that she has been orchestrating all the drama within the Order 4 to bring them together. Meanwhile, they had started to draw the eyes from the other main faction in TNA, the System. All the while, the System were also on the front lines of the war against WWE NXT, which led to them turning babyface, which led to Order 4 becoming their main opposition in TNA, and it leads to this, a big blow-off between these two stables. What have you thought about this version of the Rainbow Gang Wars, Joel? And who wins on Sunday?
This version of the Rainbow Gang Wars, he says.
I noticed the different colors.
Fair.
But go ahead.
I don't love how the System turn played out. I like how Moose's turn played out, and then everyone just kind of followed suit. You know, they had the Dark State match at Slammiversary, and that started the turn. I get where they were going. It just felt a little abrupt. Again, the Moose turn made sense after Leon Slater beat him for the X Division title. Other than that, it was just kind of jarring. Order 4 have been doing the best work character-wise in TNA. Like the Tasha Steelz and Mustafa Ali angles that got a lot of people feeling very uncomfortable for the way they were working with each other, and only to turn out that was Tasha Steelz' big plan, and it brought everyone back together. It was a really well-crafted story, and I give them credit for that. I think Order 4 should be winning this match. I think there's no reason that the System should win this because they're the elder statesmen, and I'm not saying they need to go, but I'm saying they're not hurt by the loss, whereas Order 4 is propelled by the victory. Whether that's Mustafa Ali going after maybe a world title, whether that's the Great Hands who have leveled up themselves going after tag titles, if that's Tasha Steelz who maybe wants to go after the Knockouts title. I don't know what they're going to do with these people, but there's more opportunity to me in those 5, and Big Bill Zero doing whatever. I don't know. He's just big and choke bombs people. But either way, they all have something to go to, whereas the System have already gone to and done it. So I'd like to see something different coming out of Order 4 getting a victory than the System getting a victory. Can you bring up G-Lokes? First of all, shout out to you. Can you bring up the Ali comment? It's on the most recent ones.
Oh, it's on the most recent one.
Yeah.
So he says, so Ali bad, or all bad on TNA and good on NXT?
He's saying so Ali's bad on TNA and good on NXT.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm like. So no, he's bad everywhere. He's just well liked in NXT because Ethan Page is just more of an asshole.
That is true. Yeah, that's what it comes down to more than anything.
I just wanted to bring that up because I thought it was very funny that's how they positioned it. It was like, how are they going to cheer both these guys? Because they both, like, they're the most dastardly people on their shows, and it's like Ollie's just like less of an asshole, I guess.
And it's also Ali's great in the ring, so it's easier for the fans to be like, you know what, we love you. We love seeing you in the ring. I agree with everything you said about Order 4. I really loved the story that they told with the whole Tasha Steelz manipulating and causing drama to bring them together in the end. And I like the addition of Agent Zero as this kind of like big heater for Ali to kind of pull out as an ace in the hole when he needs it. But I don't agree with you in regards to Order 4 winning. Do I agree that Order 4 should win? Yes. Do I agree that Order 4 needs to win more? Absolutely. This is TNA. I learned my lesson from going with Dark State at Slammiversary. The system always wins in these matches, and they have lost repeatedly to Order 4. They have lost repeatedly. Ali is 3-0 against Order 4 members in singles competition. They lost that Victory Road. They lost this. I think the only one they really won out of the last couple of weeks was Alicia Edwards beating Tasha. So I think that the system are due, and they're going to get the win here, unfortunately.
It's fair. I get it. I hope you're wrong, and I'm sure you kind of hope you are too.
Yes.
But I could see it. I could see that reasoning winning out in a conversation on creative.
TNA X Division Championship will be up for grabs in a dream match, as the youngest dream match of all time will take place, as Leon Slater will defend against Javon Evans. Leon Slater, of course, made history at Slammiversary, becoming the youngest ever X Division champion, and he's seeking a stamp of approval and endorsement from AJ Styles to really make something of himself as X Division champion, defending against the likes of Cedric Alexander at Emergence, or against Myron Reed at Victory Road. And now he faces his biggest challenge yet after Victory Road, when he beat Myron Reed. It was Santana Marella who revealed that his challenger for Bound for Glory will be the young OG himself, Javon Evans. Evans has been doing a similar meteoric rise over in NXT, going to the main event, headlining premium live events, getting close to winning championship gold time and time again. But can he come over to TNA and beat the other youngest in charge, Leon Slater, here to win his first singles title since signing with WWE all the way back in 2023? I'm going to go right off the bat and I'll say, yes, he can. I think I'm going to go with Javon Evans, new TNA X Division champion.
I think Leon Slater retains, and that's all I'm going to say.
Fair enough. I think this is going to be, obviously, I think to me, this is going to be the match of the night.
Yes.
There's no question.
This is a match that people have been clamoring for. They've wanted to see. It's been out there as the dream match in this whole, this partnership. There's no reason why this can't be match of the night. Yeah. I have a feeling it will live up to the expectations of some, and others will find a reason not to be so excited for it. But Leon Slater will retain.
I agree. I agree that it's going to be a barn burner. I just have a feeling they're just going to trade one title for another on Sunday. But speaking of which, they're going to get one title. They might get one title back here with the TNA Knockout World Championship, as Kalani Jordan will defend against Indy Hartwell. Kalani Jordan shocked the world by becoming TNA Knockouts World Champion back at Victory Road after Ash by Elegance basically said that she was taking an indefinite hiatus. She had to relinquish the TNA Knockouts World Championship. Kalani Jordan and Lei Ying Lee were the last of the final two participants in a battle royal, which led to a one-on-one matchup with Indy Hartwell as a special guest referee. Kalani defeated Lee to become the champion and had a face-to-face conversation with Indy Hartwell. Kalani then became the leader, the captain for Team TNA at WWE NXT Showdown, being the final participant eliminated for the team as they lost to Team NXT. She had a showdown, a face-to-face contract signing with Indy Hartwell, where Indy talked about how much this match means to her. This is the biggest match of her career. Her family are coming all the way from Australia to Lowell, Massachusetts to see her win the title, while Kalani is looking to prove herself despite all the naysayers saying that she's a traitor to NXT or she's not really a part of TNA. She wants to live up to the legacy of this title. Who's going to walk out with the gold from Lowell? Joel.
Nice. You did 3 of them. If the flight is longer than 10 hours, the person flying the family in is winning. Shout out to Stephanie Vaquer. Sorry, as Booker T likes to call her, Stephanie. Rah, rah. Anyway, she is bringing her family in from Australia. That is a 16+ hour plane ride from Sydney to LAX, plus the time to get to Boston. Lowell, the long shadows of Boston, 45-minute shadow. Anyway, the idea here being if her family's coming and they're going this far and they're really coming in, they got to put the title on Indy, which I think they were planning to do regardless. With Ash by Elegance capturing the title, it makes sense for Indy to be crowned. She's fresh, she's new, she's popular. Why not? Kalani did a good job, a serviceable job coming in, taking the title. I talked about this on our post show. They did the best with the 2 weeks they had of telling a story. She was Ash's confidant slash what was her mentor for a little while in NXT. And then afterwards, they mentioned on the contract signing, Indy and Kalani Jordan, they teamed together when Kalani first came to NXT during the house show route. There was good cohesive storytelling. They made sense of it. Now they just have to stick the landing, and that is hopefully a good match. I don't know what to expect because Indy can be hit or miss with her matches. I know Kalani's been on a tear. She's been doing really well. So I guess we're going to see. But I do expect Indy to walk out with the Knockouts World title.
Yeah, I thought Kalani was the best from the Team TNA side during the Women's Survivor Series matchup on Showdown. I thought she had a really good matchup with Lei Ying Lee to become the champion at Victory Road. So I expect her to kind of be the stronger of the two performers, and I'm hoping we get a stronger performance than we usually get from Indy Hartwell, considering how important this match is to TNA overall, as well as her individual career.
Exactly.
Now it's the match that I know Joel is looking forward to the most, because he has basically booked it as the main event. He says it is the main event regardless of when it happens, because it will be the Hardys versus Team 3D. One final table for the TNA and NXT Tag Team Championships. It was at Slammiversary that the Hardys regained the TNA World Tag Team Championships in a ladder match against the First Class, the Nemeths, and the Rascals. It was Bully Ray who made his return to TNA to confront his former rivals and issued the challenge for Bound for Glory. Team 3D Hardys one final time at the biggest show of the year for TNA. The Hardys accepted. Along the way, the Hardys had to retain the tag team titles against the Rascals, the Nemeths. They were able to, and then walked into NXT Showdown this past Tuesday and defeated Dark State to become NXT Tag Team Champions. Now, the 16-time tag team champions, the Hardys, will defend both titles against 25-time tag team champions, Team 3D. It is one final battle. One final showdown, one final car crash, one final table. Joel, how excited are you for this? And who wins?
Do you know the collective age of these 4 gentlemen?
I'm going to estimate about 200.
It's about 200, 204, I believe, 209, somewhere up there.
Yeah.
The NXT titles, tag team titles, at one time were lauded as the return to tag team wrestling in WWE. Granted, lately it's been hit or miss. The TNA tag team titles, 25 years in existence. At one time, some of the best tag teams in the world going through, arguably 2 of them in this match.
America's Most Wanted, Triple X, Beer Money, AJ
You-
Styles and Christopher Daniels, LAX, ABC.
1, 2, 3. You name them, they've done it. This match would have been completely fine without either of those tag team titles involved. Literally anything. This match is going to be a big schmoz. There's going to be more than those 5 people in the ring. I count the referee because they do a lot of hard work. They deserve that. Unless it's Daniel Spencer, at which point I'm just going to make fun of the match because he's going to miss everything. They can do anything in this match, and they will, because it's tables. Therefore, it's going to be no disqualification, and they'll find a way to make everyone get involved. And that way, Devon doesn't have to take more than one bump. The 2 that he's going to take, which includes doing the 3D and whatever first bump they'll do at the beginning of the match, so he can be like, "Look at me, I can still do it." While the crowd chants, "You still got it." And the nostalgia kids are loving it. I get it, but there's just no reason for this match to have 2 sets of tag team titles on the line. Team 3D wins. Whoever won, call your shot. If it's the Rascals, God bless. They come in, they win, they cash it in right away. They win whichever tag team titles. Honestly, I'd like both, but I'll take what I can get. And then the Dudleys just say, "Oh, we said we were going to be done after this match. We're done. We'll hear your tag team titles. Go find new owners for them." And that's that. It's going to become the Dudley Invitational on Hardy's, or on TNA, and they'll do the Dusty Invitational on NXT, and that we'll just retcon this entire match, because why were the tag team titles on the line? What did this accomplish? Or the Hardys win and they just keep going, and they're just like, "Oh, they defeated one more tables, and then this was 25 years later, and we did it. Oh my god!" I like pile driver finisher. Just be like, make it a tie. Really, just screw everybody and have them all go through the same table at the same time. Daniel Spencer will be so confused his head explodes. That's going to be the most entertaining part of the night. Don't put me through this. Don't put me through whatever this is on Sunday, because I don't want to see it. I have zero. When they announced it, I had zero interest. I continue to have zero interest in it. Just give it to Team 3D. Let them have their little jerk off session, and then let whoever wins the call your shot gauntlet take them out, finish the story. Bully can go on, bust it open afterwards. Be like, "It was the best match ever, bro. It was so good. Tears in the eyes of everyone in the front row. Oh, it was so good, bro. You missed out, bro."
You're going to have a tear in your eye. It's going to roll down your face. Yeah, this sucks. I am like you. I wasn't interested in this matchup as soon as it was announced. But sadly, I've seen there are a lot of people that want to see this. Mm-hmm. I don't understand why wrestling fans have a gluttony for punishment. It's kind of weird. It kind of seems fetishized at this point. How much they love torture. They love to see trash on their TV. It's absolutely ridiculous. We got G Loc, who says, "Did Joel just say bust off session?"
To which
Indeed.
I said what I said.
Indeed, this is what they are. These are old men trying to relive their glory days all over again. And we, as wrestling fans, condone it. Not even just condone it. We enable it. But why? Wouldn't the Hardys versus the Rascals be so much better? Wouldn't I know the Hardys have pretty much faced every other tag team in TNA, but that's sad if the only other option was the Dudleys. Hardys win, obviously, but I don't even want to live through this, let alone watch it.
We know who the true winners are, SP3. The fans.
Because they're going to be crying. Like, why did I have to watch that?
I can't believe it.
For the TNA World title, it will be Trick Williams defending against Mike Santana. Trick Williams won the TNA World Championship back at Battleground in May from Joe Hendry. One of the first people who stepped up to him, in fact, the first person who stepped up to him from the TNA roster was, in fact, Mike Santana. He challenged Trick Williams on NXT. At the time, Trick had formed an alliance with First Class, AJ Francis, and Casey Navarro, who attacked Santana and helped Trick retain the title. Trick would once again defend the title against Santana in a triple threat match at Slammiversary, where he was able to steal the win from Santana over Hendry, and Santana failed to win the top prize in TNA wrestling in front of his hometown crowd in New York City, in front of his daughter, who was in the front row. However, Santana took that failure, took the disappointment of the fans, of basically the entire TNA fan base and his daughter, and used it as motivation to keep picking up wins. He picked up wins against Joe Hendry in tag team action, singles action, Sami Callihan, did not matter. Mike Santana picked up a winning streak and led his way to getting another opportunity at the TNA World Championship. It was Santino Marella who made the match official for Bound for Glory. Trick Williams has been trying to avoid Mike Santana at every cost, at every passage, basically saying that he was not going to show up to the Impact Zone ahead of Bound for Glory, instead of trying to attack Santana from behind, which led to a brawl. He also made the edict that if Santana laid his hands on him without provocation, he would lose his shot at Bound for Glory. Unfortunately for him, he would bump into Santana and Santana would whoop his ass anyway. And then the two men were involved in the 4-on-4 Survivor Series traditional matchup that headline Showdown, and Mike Santana picked up arguably his biggest win of the year so far, pinning the NXT champion Ricky Saints and picking up the win for Team TNA, while Trick Williams walked out on NXT. So seeing all of that, hearing the words from both men on last night's show, they had a good promo exchange, hearing the letter from Conan, has TNA booked themselves into a corner where the only solution is Mike Santana wins the TNA World Championship, or will they do what I think is the unthinkable and the very stupid, and have Trick Williams retain the title in the main event of Bound for Glory?
Once again, Bound for Glory 2021. Josh Alexander wins the TNA World Championship, beats Christian Cage. His family's in the ring. Everyone's celebrating. Little Jet's there, and Jen's there, Jade there, and they're so happy. And all of a sudden, boom! The Call Your Shot Gauntlet winner, Moose, comes in, pins the man. 1, 2, 3. People were mad at me because I called that months earlier. They could do it again. They could do it again. They could easily have someone like Eric Young win the Call Your Shot Gauntlet and have Santana win the world title. It's the big moment. Oh my God, Santana did it. He did it for himself. He did it for his family. He did it for LAX. He did it for Conan. He did it for he did it for Fat Joe. He did it for everyone. He did it.
He did it for Fat Joe.
Why not? He did it for New York. He did it for New York. He did it for Taz. He did it for everyone. He did it for Los Boricuas. I don't care. He did it. And then all of a sudden out comes Eric Young and his poncho, and he beats him down with whatever. And he uses the Call Your Shot Gauntlet trophy and he wins. I could see Trick Williams just flat out winning, and they have to go the rest of the stupid year with the either Mike Santana leaving or Mike Santana staying, and this is it. I posited this to you last night on the TNA post show. If we're going to go back to Ali and Santana, and Ali is maybe going to go for win the title, and Santana maybe doesn't stick around with TNA, then yeah, Santana should win at Bound for Glory. And at the January pay-per-view, I don't know if it's going to be called Genesis or Hard to Kill or whatever this time, they have the match and Ali wins. You can't go back and do it again. That's the only downside, because Ali is the bad guy, but you can have that moment and then Santana's gone and that's it. But again, I don't know what the contract status is with Mike Santana. I know other than the idea is he's done at the end of the year. So you could do it, give him the moment, but then you've crowned your guy with 3 months to go in the year, like you've talked about.
Yeah.
So what does this do? So
They
what does-
already fucked themselves at Slammiversary, but they got to stick the landing on this. So
Do
I think
they?
that yes, I think that Mike Santana has to win on Sunday, but I agree with you. So I'm changing my pick for the Call Your Shot Gauntlet. The Call Your Shot Gauntlet, Joel, is going to be won by the masked person who's been carrying the cleansing sign. He wins the Call Your Shot Gauntlet. Mike Santana wins. He's celebrating with his daughter in the ring. He's celebrating with people from LAX fame. Homicide's there, Conan's there. They got the kids and the gang members that they used to use in the vignettes back in like 2018 and stuff. And then out of nowhere comes the masked man in the cleansed mask. He comes out from behind, attacks Mike Santana, hits him in the back of the head with a wrench right in front of his daughter. Gets the referee, call your shot, pins him. New TNA World Champion. They leave it. They say new TNA World Champion, and they don't know his name.
You don't know who he is.
Don't know his name. Don't know who he is.
But what happens when you say his name and then he appears and it turns out it was just Joe Hendry?
Oh man, that would be the great reveal. But I have an even better reveal.
Okay.
Takes off the mask. It's Ortiz. Oh my god. Oh my god. That would be TNA basically doing a cash-in version of Bobby Roode winning the TNA World Championship from James Storm.
Shout out to Ortiz, who is still under AEW contract.
He worked out a deal.
No, I'm sure that's a deal that he would be able to work out. Let me tell you, he's concentrated going to other places, not TNA. I'll tell you that much. Oh, listen. There's credence to this. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they do the Santana wins and they just cash in on him. Whoever has call your shot, and then the Dudleys win one last table and they just give up the titles and they do a tournament.
Dude, the Dudleys are not winning.
Dudleys are winning. It's over. The Dudleys are winning, baby. Dudleys are gonna win, and everyone's gonna be so upset. They're just gonna give up those tag titles, and everything will be meaningless again. Who knows? The Hardys are coming up on the end of their deals too. Who knows?
The masked man is revealed to be takes off the mask, and it's Adam Shera, the former Braun Strowman, new TNA World Champion. New TNA World Champion right there.
It's Bhupinder Gujar. He's back, baby.
It's Raj Desi, Jinder Mahal, new TNA World Champion. That will put butts in the seat.
It's Mercedes Moné. No, you make good money. It's Boston. The long shadows of Boston.
This is true.
I could honestly, like I said, I could see them doing a shock finish. You know, the big shock coming out of Bound for Glory is where is the post Bound for Glory show happening? What's happening on the Impact after Bound for Glory?
Find out. Oh, Santos Escobar. There we go.
Santos Escobar.
That was the big creative plan that the WWE had for him. He's going to be TNA World Champion.
I wouldn't mind it being Joe Hendry. Joe Hendry joins the Cleanse on his way out.
He joins the Clan, like him and Eric Young like hug it out to end the show.
Joe Hendry grows a big gnarly beard.
Ooh,
I don't know if he can, but it would work. For once, I just
very sexy.
Just once, I want him to be serious. Just once in my life, I want Joe Hendry to do something serious. Really display those chops. I'm actually curious more about where TNA is going to be airing their post-bound for what they're going to be doing. They have nothing announced in terms of tapings for the post-Bound for Glory shows. I don't know if that means they're going to tag team up with NXT for the next few weeks. They have nothing between the end of Bound for Glory and Turning Point in November. That's November 15th. So they got 4 empty weeks with nothing planned other than what I assume will be next Thursday's post-Bound for Glory clip show that they seem to now love doing, which is asinine. And then we just got to get through the end of the year. I already know what November 15th till January, whatever the pay-per-view is. I already know what that looks like, but I have no idea what the 4 weeks after Bound for Glory look like other than
I think probably what Fightful Select reported of them working WWE PC for a couple of weeks.
What, do a double taping? That's such a that's, you know what that screams, SP3? That screams we're poor and have no money.
I mean, yes, but they don't have to do double taping. They can just book another date.
They're gonna go live every week for 4 weeks with the PC.
Why not?
3 weeks.
Why not? It could be like an experimental month long 4 week straight of them being live on Thursday from the PC.
You remember when they went to Ottawa for Bound for Glory in like 2017 after Anthem first acquired them? Do you remember what they did after that show, after Bound for Glory with the tapings?
What?
5 nights of tapings at the same pavilion in Ottawa. You know what they ended up doing? They were offering $50 to have people come and sit in the crowd to watch those tapings every night. I was at Bound for Glory. I flew home the next day because I had other. I grew up in Ottawa. I don't live there anymore. I went to the pay-per-view and I left. You know what most people in Ottawa did? They went to the pay-per-view and did not come back, except for like the hardcores who I guess planned a week out. I don't want to see TNA run an Impact show in front of 200 of the same people over and over and over again for 4 weeks. I don't love the taping schedules that they keep now, but I will very much not want to see the PC crowd watching a TNA show, because some of them are just like going because it's something to do and they get in every week because they're golden circle whatevers for NXT. I'm nervous for the 4 weeks going into Turning Point.
You don't want the Ricky Strokes. Ricky Strokes. How you doing, Miss Parker? Yes, Miss Parker. Yo, it's like these people are the worst wrestling fans that have ever been in one room together.
They think they're in on the joke. They think they're in on it. They think they are the show. They're doing the show for those 400 people, and that is not great, because then you leave town and you hope that it carries over to the next town that you're going.
It never does.
Very rarely does it. Very rarely. It's like the Lyra thing. They tried so hard to get the Lyra Woo over, and it took them months to get the crowd.
It took them a year. It took her a year on the main roster to get that over.
Took them so long, and then they just thought, oh, but look, if these 400 people do it, clearly these 14,000 will do it too, right? Nope.
Santo Escobar still has dreams of them doing the da 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 da. Yes, Legato. Legato.
Listen, they're creative. I'll give them that. But other than that, I don't want to see TNA in that setting because I fear what comes out of it.
Yeah, I understand that, but it makes sense. I'm going with Mike Santana. Joel is going with Trick Williams, and we shall see who walks out TNA World Champion.
I'm so close to saying Santana, and then he gets cashed in on immediately. I'm so much closer to that, and then saying the Dudleys win, and they just give up the tag titles, and they do respective.
That sounds like a more logical way to go, because there's nothing else for Trick to do. So it would not make sense. It literally would be self-sabotage having Trick retain.
Well, this company doesn't exactly.
I know they're known for self-sabotage, but like let's have a little bit of faith that they're not that
dumb. We'll see on Sunday.
We shall see, yes indeed. But that brings us to the end of another preview for TNA Bound for Glory 2025. Want to thank you all for joining us live. Thank you all if you're watching us on demand. Remember, you can let us know your predictions for TNA Bound for Glory in the comments down below if you're watching on demand. And of course, we got to give a big thanks to Joel Pearl for joining us today. Thank you as always for joining us for our TNA pay-per-view previews. Always appreciate hearing your insight to the person that I know watches TNA probably closer than anyone out there. So always appreciate your knowledge on the product. So please let everybody know where they can follow you on social media and when they might see you again.
So easy to find at Joel Pearl, JoelPearl on most socials, at thejoelpearl.com on Blue Sky. I host the TNA post shows over on Fightful every Thursday night after they go off the air. Bound for Glory, we're doing a post show whenever that show goes off the air. Shortly after, it'll be myself, Steven Jensen, maybe even Cresta Star. She did text me earlier and say she might do a run-in. So you might see us for the post Bound for Glory show. I host In the Weeds every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on Fightful Overbooked. That's with Jeremy Lambert. And SP3 joins on Tuesdays and Thursdays and the odd other days when our schedules get all mucked up. But either way, that's where we are. And on top of that, I just appreciate being here, because if it's a TNA pay-per-view and I get to hang out with the True Heel Heat chat and the people on the shows, I am always appreciative of that.
Thank you as always, sir. And remember, when you talk about In the Weeds, you have to refer to yourself as one of those weed guys.
That's right.
I
did see that segment. That was fantastic.
That was awesome.
Yes.
You can follow me on the Twitter machine at TrueHillSB3. Follow the gang, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok at TrueHillHeat. Patreon.com/TrueHillHeat. $3 a month. The best place to support us when we are not live here. You get plenty of exclusive content, including the GOAT match series with me and Jimmy Macaram. But check out all the great content we got on the channel right now from this week, like our NJPW King of Pro Wrestling 2025 preview. Check out AE Ramble with me and Jimmy Macaram reviewing AEW Dynamite Title Tuesday, as well as WWE NXT Showdown. And of course, check out our WWE Crown Jewel 2025 preview from earlier this week with Maggie, who was in the chat earlier. But thank you so much to Joel Pearl. Thank you to all of you for joining us live here. We'll have a review of Bound for Glory on Monday, so join us live for that. For Joel, it is me, your true phenom, SP3. This has been our TNA Bound for Glory 2025 preview. We are signing off until next time.